Chapter 21. A Fairy Falls from the Sky. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Xuanhuan was reclining in the Jade Lake, looking up at the cherry blossoms above his head, with a pleasant expression. The swimming pool for the cultivator is good. It's so relaxing to lie inside. Although I can't cultivate, I still have to eat and drink. Moreover, if I have a house and land in my previous life, I could be considered as a little rich man, right? But unfortunately, something is missing. A beauty to accompany me. The words just fell silent not long afterward. The petals of the 100-color lotus god in the pond suddenly pulsated a few times. Shoo, there was a sound that broke through the air. A long rainbow descended from the sky. She fell unobstructed directly into the Jade Lake. Boom! There was a loud noise, and water splattered everywhere. This sound almost frightened Xuanhuan's soul away. It scared me to death. What is it? After calming down, Xuanhuan swept the Jade Lake and couldn't help but look stunned. He saw a woman floating on Jade Lake. She had blonde hair and dressed in red. No, it should be said to be a long clothes stained with blood. Her eyes were closed tightly. She was breathless. Obviously, she was critically injured. She was precisely Xuanhuan. Beauty, a beautiful fairy. Xuanhuan boldly walked to Xuanhuan. Looking at that refined face, his expression was in a stupor. Having come to this world for a long time, it was the first time he saw a woman so stunning like her. Even Su Yiling and Luo Luyen combined beauty couldn't compete with the woman before him. She's injured more severely than that Yiling girl. Even if I treat her, I'm afraid it will take 3 days to wake up. However, do I have to save her? Xuanhuan grimaced, showing a contemplative look. It was a pity if you didn't save this kind of beauty. If I saved her and then she became aggressive and attacked me with a sword, it would make my effort go down the drain. Miss, there is no other way. I can only give you the weakening powder. When you wake up, and you have no killing intent, I will help you detoxify it. Xuanhuan nodded inwardly. To tell the truth, if it weren't for his lack of strength, he really didn't want to use this kind of method. In this world where there was no law, this was the only way to protect yourself. He picked up Xuanhuan and walked into the room. Her dress is all wet. She will easily catch a cold and get the quilt wet. Her figure is similar to Miss Yiling. Maybe she can wear that dress. Thinking like this, he put Xuanhuan on the bench and went away quickly. Soon, he brought a green long gown. The girl didn't wake up. What should I do? Can you imagine a grown-up man like me helped her change? No way. Absolutely not. The girls in this world believe in feudalism. If I destroy her innocence, I am afraid she will make me take responsibility by marrying her. What should I do? For a while, Xuanhuan was in a dilemma. Reading poems and books, he naturally knows the proper measure. After some ideological struggle, Xuanhuan decided to help Xuanhuan change her clothes. However, he chose to blindfold his eyes. See no evil. Xuanhuan took out a black cloth and put it over his eyes. After that, he began to help Xuanhuan change her clothes. What's this? It's so big. Miss, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry, I touched the wrong place, please don't blame me. Ah. Finally changed. Xuanhuan breathed a sigh of relief and relaxed. After taking off the blindfold and looking at her, it was no good. The clothes were worn upside down, so he had to start all over again. Hey, why am I so clumsy? Miss, I'm sorry. After saying that, Xuanhuan began to change Xuanhuan's clothes again. His movements were uncoordinated, and if he were not careful, he might run into places he shouldn't touch. Fortunately, Xuanhuan was unconscious and didn't know all of this. Otherwise, who knew what would happen? A quarter of an hour later. Xuanhuan took off his blindfold and looked at Xuanhuan, and breathed a sigh of relief. He stretched out his hand and began to examine her pulse. The meridians are completely shattered. The 5 internal organs are destroyed. I have to give her medicine quickly. After that, Sun Hao put her on the bed and went out quickly. An hour later, Sun Hao picked up a bowl of soup and fed them to Huang Rumeng. Only then did he relax. Her life is not in danger anymore, but she won't be able to wake up until 3 days later. A beautiful fairy, if she tied her hair up, it would look even better. The fairy's ears are lovely. Sun Hao muttered, for a while, staring at Huang Rumeng without taking his gaze back. Since the girl should be fine, I'll go ahead and work. After speaking, Sun Hao walked out. Time flies, and it was 3 days in a blink of an eye. Huang Rumeng woke up leisurely, staring at the ceiling in confusion. Who am I? Where am I? Why does my head hurt so much? Suddenly, a burst of memory came. Ah! It hurts. Can you kill me quickly? When all this kind of memory invaded her mind, Huang Rumeng struggled physically, unable to move at all. She shivered uncontrollably. Don't kill me, don't kill me. It hurts. I am afraid of pain. 2 lines of tears slide down. Creak, at this time, the door opened. A figure came in. He looked graceful and powerful, every step was absolutely natural, and Huang Rumeng couldn't bear to look away. Miss, you are awake. It was Sun Hao who came into the room. Huang Rumeng shrank back and looked at Sun Hao, full of fear. Miss, don't be afraid, I do not have any bad intentions. Sun Hao said, trying to calm her down. Hearing this, Huang Rumeng was calm a little bit. However, her face was full of vigilance. Miss, what's your name? Sun Hao asked. Me. Huang Rumeng bit on the sleeve of her clothes and started to think. A moment later. Ah, don't kill me, I'm afraid of pain, I'm afraid of pain. Huang Rumeng cried loudly. Her body was quivering. Mississippi. It's okay. It's okay. Sun Hao held Huang Rumeng to ease her a little. Under Sun Hao's comfort, she relaxed slowly, closed her eyes, and fell asleep. It seems that this girl has suffered some kind of hardship. Where would she be able to kill someone? First, dispel her powerlessness. Sun Hao thought in his heart and left promptly. Soon after, he brought a bowl of white porridge, woke Huang Rumeng, and fed her. Huang Rumeng didn't speak. Her eyes showed gratitude. Her wariness of Sun Hao was also lessened by more than half. Miss, you are too tired, sleep first. Sun Hao said, then stood up. Don't go. Huang Rumeng grabbed Sun Hao's arm, resting her head on his back, sleeping peacefully. It's okay, go to sleep. After a few words, Huang Rumeng fell asleep. Sun Hao smiled feebly and slowly retracted his arm, without waking her up. The poison has been dispelled, but this girl still doesn't have the same aura as Chen Daoming and the others. Is she just like me, a mere mortal? It's too cruel to do this to a mortal. Sun Hao whispered and walked out. Huang Rumeng slept all day. She didn't wake up until noon the next day. Looking around, Huang Rumeng quickly used the quilt to wrap herself up and hide in the corner with a look of fright. Zheng, bedo them at this time, the sound of Guqin came from outside. The sound indirectly affected her soul, all of her fears vanish without a trace. In front of Huang Rumeng, a warm picture was portrayed. A family was enjoying a happy life together. She was loved like a princess. She closed her eyes, feeling this scene serenely, and her mind was like still water, without any ripples. Huang Rumeng slowly relaxed, put on her shoes, and walked out. When she came to the outer courtyard, she saw the scene in front of her. Her eyes glowed from time to time. She saw that 100-color lotus god was blooming with colorful light and hallucinatory like a fairy tale world. 2 cherry blossom trees were unveiling their delicate scent. The scent was fragrant and refreshing. In a pavilion under the cherry tree, a man was playing the guqin. He was radiant and attractive. His every action was completely natural, so beautiful that words could not describe it. Each rhythm goes straight to her soul, making her exceptionally at ease. Xuanhuan unknowingly walked into the pavilion. After one piece was over, only then did Sun Hao speak, "Miss, are you awake?" Xuanhuan was startled and lowered her head, crossing her fingers tightly, looking very uneasy. Miss, don't be afraid, sit down." Sun Hao asked. Xuanhuan's voice was almost inaudible, sitting on the chair, not daring to speak out. Guru, at this moment, her stomach rang. Xuanhuan hurriedly lowered her head, not daring to look at Sun Hao's gaze. The girl's belly turned out to be growling. Apparently, she is not a cultivator. It seems that she is afraid of me. Sun Hao stood up. "Miss, you must be hungry. I'll be right back." "Just a moment." "All right." Xuanhuan nodded, afraid to look at Sun Hao's eyes. After Sun Hao left, Xuanhuan tried to stand up. She stared at the guqin with curiosity. She walked to the guqin and touched it gently. Zheng, there was a sound, and she hurriedly retracted her finger. When the vibrato disappeared, she tried to pluck it again. Chapter 22. Immortal Days. You are listening at novelfull.audio. "Miss, I'm back." Sun Hao walked over with a plate of cherries. Each cherry, the size of a baby's fist, was dark red and exuded an attractive luster. At first glimpse, it would make people salivate. Seeing this scene, Xuanhuan's expression stagnated. A memory flooded into her mind. "You bastard, how can you be qualified to eat the spirit fruit? Bring it to me. You're an outsider, and you don't qualify to eat the spirit fruit. Give it to me." Then, Xuanhuan was hit by a group of children. On the ground, her nose and face were swollen. Even the spirit fruit in her hand was snatched away. "No, don't hit me." Xuanhuan put her hands over his head. Her face was full of agony. "Miss, let your sad past go with the wind." Sun Hao's voice awakened Xuanhuan. She quickly got up from her seat, stepped aside, lowered her head, and said nothing. "Miss, let's eat some cherries first." After Sun Hao finished speaking, he sent the fruit plate to Xuanhuan. This, Xuanhuan looked at Sun Hao, then at the fruit plate, biting her lip, not daring to move in the slightest. After seeing Sun Hao gestured several times. Only then did Xuanhuan grab 2 cherries and put them in her mouth, for fear of someone taking them away. After swallowing them, seeing Sun Hao didn't say much, she continued to grab another and gulped it down. Whoosh, endless spiritual power rushing up in her body. Her expression stagnated, and a memory of her cultivation surged. She subconsciously sat down and began to refine the newly found power. A moment later, Xuanhuan opened her eyes, and her face was full of astonishment. What kind of spiritual fruit is this, so powerful? How do I know this? Who am I? The young master is so kind to me. Why should I think about those things? Xuanhuan murmured, looking at Sun Hao with eyes full of gratitude. "Miss, you take a rest first, and I'll cook." Sun Hao said. "Young master." Xuanhuan's voice was as small as a mosquito. "Miss, what's the matter?" Sun Hao said. Young master, let me help you." Xuanhuan asked in a low voice. "That's fine." Sun Hao nodded and walked into the kitchen together with Xuanhuan. Next, Xuanhuan's movement made Sun Hao awed in amazement. He saw that she was proficient in washing and cutting vegetables, washing and cooking rice. Although her cooking skills were not as good as him, she was at least a master. If there is always such a helper, the cooking speed will be at least doubled. It seems that this little girl has suffered hardship. Sun Hao muttered to himself while looking at Huang Rumeng's back. Next, Huang Rumeng made the fire, and Sun Hao showed off his cooking skills. This is. Huang Rumeng held a piece of wood, completely dumbfounded. This wood was blood-red, with a dense texture, and exuded a faint fragrance. The lines run through the whole wood. Sandalwood, immortal wood. Huang Rumeng blurted out, standing stupidly on the spot. Although she didn't know what it was, she told herself in her heart that it was nothing to worry about. Let's put it aside first. Huang Rumeng took out other pieces of wood and started to burn them. She watched Sun Hao's cooking movements, and she was completely stunned. Sun Hao's every movement was natural and beautiful beyond description. The dishes he made were crystal clear, full of color, flavor, and taste. Huang Rumeng watched quietly and engraved every movement. Soon, the food was ready. When they came to the dining table, Huang Rumeng stood beside him. "Miss, sit down and eat together. If you don't mind, treat it as your own home in the future, so don't be so restrained." Sun Hao said. "I. Young master." In Huang Rumeng's eyes, tears were brewing, and she was deeply moved. "Eat. You're welcome." Miss, why hide your ears? If you can tie your hair up and reveal your ears, you will look lovelier." As soon as Sun Hao finished speaking, Huang Rumeng's expression stagnated. A memory came. "Didn't I say that you are a monster for having such strange ears?" "Yes. She should cut her ears." Thinking of this, 2 lines of tears slid down Huang Rumeng's eyes. "Miss, don't cry, don't take my word seriously, eat, don't let it get cold." Sun Hao tried to comfort her. Young master, thank you." Huang Rumeng ate silently, looking at Sun Hao from time to time. Her moved eyes were shining from time to time. When Sun Hao glanced over, she quickly lowered her head again. Huang Rumeng did not speak, and neither did Sun Hao. The two of them ate in silence without saying a word. "Young master, I'll wash the dishes." Just after putting down the dishes and chopsticks, Huang Rumeng quickly picked them up. She cleaned up the table, washed the dishes, and cleaned the floor. There was no need for Sun Hao to worry about. Sun Hao stared at this scene vacantly, feeling inexplicably moved, and his heart surged. If he had such a wife, it would be nice for them to live a simple life. "Young master, I didn't do it well." Huang Rumeng lowered her head as she felt Sun Hao's blazing eyes, like a little girl who was doing something wrong. "No, you did a good job." Sun Hao stood up and walked to Huang Rumeng. "Come with me." Huang Rumeng lowered her head and followed behind Sun Hao closely. They came to the pavilion. Sun Hao pointed to the guqin. "Do you like it?" Huang Rumeng nodded. "If you are willing to learn, I can teach you." Sun Hao said. "Really?" The light in Huang Rumeng's eyes was glistening. "Of course. Young master, you sit down, and I stand to learn from you." "How can you learn if you don't sit down and play?" Okay, young master." Then Sun Hao began to give Huang Rumeng the lesson. Huang Rumeng listened carefully and was trying it from time to time. "You have to rely on natural tension when plucking, your fingers should be picked like this." "Young master, do you think this is okay?" "Not bad." "That is not enough, young master, can you show me?" Huang Rumeng grew bolder. How could he refuse a beauty's request? Sun Hao held Huang Rumeng's hands and led her to play. Huang Rumeng followed Sun Hao's movements and played a beautiful melody. Until night came, the two people didn't stop. "Well, that's all for today. Go back and rest," Sun Hao said. "Yes, young master." Huang Rumeng nodded and walked to the other room. Sun Hao walked back to his room and nodded secretly. This girl is a genius at playing. Her talent is not much weaker than mine. Today is so fulfilling. Perhaps life as an immortal won't be as fulfilling as this. If this is the case every day, this day is quite comfortable. It's time to rest. After speaking, Sun Hao walked back to the room, put on his pajamas, fell on the bed, and fell asleep. On the other side, Huang Rumeng walked back to her room with a contented smile on her face. She was lying in bed, unable to sleep for a long time. Finally, she hugged another pillow to her chest and murmured, "Young master, you are so kind to me." Sleepiness hit her afterward, and soon, she also fell asleep. Chapter 23. Memory Recovery. Tribulation Thunder was coming. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next day, Sun Hao opened his eyes and saw the scene before him, his expression sluggish. He saw a beautiful blonde woman standing in front of his eyes. In her blue eyes, there was a strange glow, staring at Sun Hao. Her hair, tied behind her head, revealing two pointed ears. She was precisely Huang Rumeng. Seeing Sun Hao waking up, Huang Rumeng smiled, "Young master, you are awake." "Girl, you," Sun Hao was taken aback, almost lost. "Young master, do I look good?" Huang Rumeng asked. "You look good." Sun Hao nodded. "Young master, breakfast is ready. You should wash up quickly." Huang Rumeng said. "What? Is breakfast ready?" "Nothing is better than this. It is different to have such a beautiful woman by his side. It just so happened that she was also a mortal. If you can form a Dao couple with her, bah! Get married." On this day, it was exceptionally beautiful. After washing up, Sun Hao quickly got up and walked to the dining room with Huang Rumeng. A bowl of millet porridge, a sliced green onion cake, 2 handfuls of dried fruits, a few cherries. A total of 2 servings, 1 for each. It looked modest, but it was rich. "Young master, if I don't do well, please don't mind." Huang Rumeng said. "How come?" Sun Hao took a sip of millet porridge and secretly admired it. Compared with what he cooked, it was not much different. It was completely master level. In the future, if she practiced a lot, she might be able to catch up with him. "Dovico, delicious." Sun Hao complimented. "Thank you, young master." Huang Rumeng's eyes glowed, and her face was full of delight. After breakfast, Huang Rumeng tagged along with Sun Hao to learn to play the guqin. A few hours later, Huang Rumeng could already play a piece independently. Although she still played very blunt at some points, as long as she practiced hard, it would make it perfect. Maybe one day, the artistic conception would pop up. By then, she also counted as a teacher. However, if she wanted to exceed him, she had to work 10 times harder. One song is over. Well, take a rest first and have a cup of tea. Sun Hao handed the brewed dehongpo to Huang Rumeng. "Thank you, young master." Huang Rumeng picked up the teacup and took a sip. Immediately, she was astonished and frozen. A cold feeling flooded all over her mind. At this moment, her soul rapidly strengthened. The memory hidden in the bottom of her heart, at this moment, was rushing like water that opened the gate. She closed her eyes and did not move. After a long time, she opened her eyes. There was no change in her face. Like everything, it was gone. Huang Rumeng looked at Sun Hao with gratitude in his eyes. "From today onwards, I will be your servant. As long as young master does not despise me, I will always be by his side. Everything else, let it go by the wind." Huang Rumeng muttered and made a secret resolution. Suddenly, she raised her eyebrows, and her eyes were shocked. She looked at the tea in the cup, startled for a long time, and couldn't calm down. This is enlightenment tea. The feeling of soul ascension was unforgettable. Surprisingly, what the young master gave her was enlightenment tea. Not long ago, the predecessor of Ancestral Monster Mountain, the Monster Emperor, fought against the strong human race for 300 rounds for a piece of enlightened tea. In that battle, blood flowed into a river, and countless people and monsters met their end. In the end, although the Monster Emperor obtained the enlightened Dao tea, he was fatally injured. Soon after, he ended up dead. From this, we could see how precious this enlightenment tea was. Could you drink enlightenment tea? Moreover, it was given by the young master. Not too long ago, she seemed to see the young master grabbing dozens of tea leaves. He seemed to have a big bag of this kind of tea. God, Xuanhuan was so shocked that she almost knocked over the tea. Such precious enlightenment tea, let alone knocking over a cup, dropping a drop will make you feel so distressed that you could not forgive yourself. Young master, who is he? I'm afraid at least he is also an immortal. Xuanhuan muttered, incapable of calming down for a long time. Girl, don't be embarrassed, drink. At this time, Sun Hao's voice awakened Xuanhuan. Young master, I have recovered my memory just now. Xuanhuan said. Really? What's your name? Sun Hao asked. My name is Xuanhuan. If you don't mind, call me Rumeng. I don't know your respected surname. Xuanhuan asked. My name is Sun Hao, you can call me Brother Hao. Sun Hao said. How can this be? That's disrespect. You saved me. I'll call you young master. Xuanhuan said. Hearing these words, Sun Hao secretly heaved a sigh. Girl Rumeng, although you have restored your memory, you still have to practice your Guqin skills. Sun Hao said. Young master, as long as you don't disapprove of me, I am willing to stay with you and keep learning. Xuanhuan said. Such a good thing. Can't I ask for it? Despite thinking so in his heart, Sun Hao didn't show half of this on his face. The girl is joking. It is a great pleasure to have a beautiful woman like you around. How can it be annoying? Thank you, young master. Xuanhuan dropped 2 lines of tears from the corner of her eyes, aimed at Sun Hao, and kneel. Rumeng, don't kneel, get up. Sun Hao said. Yes, young master. Drink tea. Xuanhuan continued to drink tea. Her soul power was rapidly increasing. Suddenly, the heavens and the earth changed. As if she was the only one left in the whole world. In other words, at this moment, she was heaven and earth. She has reached the realm of harmony between man and nature. No words could illustrate this excellent mood. In Xuanhuan's body, no matter what kind of energy it was, it rapidly poured into her body, refined by her monster infant, and turned it into her use. Her realm was also rising rapidly. Less than a moment. She reached the middle stage of crossing the calamity realm. Also, at this moment. The sky changed its color. Dark clouds from all directions were dashing in. In the dark clouds, 3-color thunder lights converge unceasingly. Within 100 miles, everything was enveloped in dark clouds. Rumble, every time the 3-color thunder light drifted, it would burst out with a terrifying roar. The scene seemed to obliterate the world, terrifying. All the monsters within 100 kilometers were crawling on the ground, trembling. Tricolor thunder tribulation. This was the thunder tribulation that Xuanhuan must experience. After passing it, she could carry on to cultivate. If she didn't get through it, she would lose her soul. Rumble, there was another explosion. The instant afterward, a thick 3-color thunder light on the arm, entwined with each other and lurched in a straight line down from the sky. That direction was precisely where Xuanhuan was. At this moment, Sun Hao and Xuanhuan were in the same position. Noticing, the thunder was about to strike the two of them. At this time, the lightning seemed to be distraught by some force and struck the cherry tree. Boom! There was a loud explosion. It almost scared Sun Hao's soul away. He looked at the sky. Angry, he bellowed, "Damn, are you trying to chop me to death?" As soon as his words came out, the next sky, thunder brewing, quickly vanished. The three-dot-color thunder lights also disappeared one by one. Finally, even the dark clouds disappeared completely. The sun was shining, and it was sunny. Huang Rumeng faintly opened her eyes and looked at Sun Hao, revealing an incomparable light of worship. Swallow the tribulation thunder. In today's world, who can do it? Mahayana realm. Old monster crossing the calamity. Ascending calamity. No way. How could the tribulation thunder sell their face? Even immortals may not be able to do it. Is the young master's strength stronger than immortal? One thought ends here. Hiss, Huang Rumeng couldn't help taking a breath. Looking at Sun Hao, there was a bit of worship and reverence. Be our patron by joining our Patreon and read more chapter for every novel on this website. You could read chapter 24 to chapter 43 for It Turns Out I Am a Dao Ancestor. Chapter 24. Young Master is surrounded by demons immortal. You are listening at novelfull.audio. God, this thunder, it won't work if you don't scold him. Rumeng, look, the sky is clear. Sun Hao pointed to the sky with a smile on his face. When this word reached Huang Rumeng's ears, her scalp was numb, and cold sweat was pouring down. People who dare to point at the sky and curse like this, and I'm afraid only the young master dares, right? You are amazing. Huang Rumeng said. Hey, I'm flattered. Sun Hao waved his hand, some guys just owe you to deal with them. The weaker you show, the more they think you are easy to be bullied. He said. As soon as these words came out. Boom, like a clap of thunder, it blew in Huang Rumeng's ears. A particular barrier stuck in her heart immediately shattered. Young master's words are like thunder. Some people really deserve to die. This matter is not urgent. I will come back to them after I have learned something from the young master. Huang Rumeng muttered to herself, clenching her fists secretly. Young master is right. Huang Rumeng said. Don't freeze. Continue drinking tea. Yes, young master. Drinking tea, playing the guqin, cooking, eating. The two people were like a husband and wife, and they were enviable. It was night. Huang Rumeng sat cross-legged on the bed, preparing to practice. At this time. Whoosh, a figure materialized in her room. She was a woman dressed in a lotus dress and a lotus hat. She looked so beautiful that she was suffocating. Huang Rumeng didn't know how she appeared here. There was no breath on her. If she was unwilling, Huang Rumeng was afraid she would not be able to find her. Demon immortal. Not ordinary demon immortal. This kind of character, even in the ancestral demon mountain, was an overpowering figure. I can actually see it here. Senior. Huang Rumeng quickly got up and bowed to the lotus demon, clenching her fist. No need. The lotus demon waved her hand, looking at Huang Rumeng as if to see her through. Do you know what I am looking for you? Senior, please enlighten me. Huang Rumeng said. I don't dare to give you advice. My master can like you. Maybe one day, I have to call you madam. Upon hearing this, Huang Rumeng's face changed significantly. You mean, yes, Sun Hao is the master of this seat. I came here today to tell you that the young master is practicing as a mortal, and you must not break it, or else young master's Dao heart will be damaged. If you let the young master's Dao heart get damaged, even if you are his wife, this seat will certainly not forgive you, do you understand? The demon lotus said. Huang Rumeng revealed a look of epiphany. I see. No wonder there is no spiritual power fluctuation in young master. Senior, you can rest assured that I will never break the young master's Dao heart. Huang Rumeng promised. That's good. After speaking, the lotus demon disappeared instantaneously. The pressure on Huang Rumeng's body disappeared cleanly. She stood where she was, sweating profusely. This kind of demon is actually just a servant of the young master. I'm afraid that his real realm is unimaginable. Thinking of this, Huang Rumeng gasped for air again. Suddenly, Huang Rumeng's scalp exploded as if thinking of something. During the day, the cherry blossom tree was smashed by thunder, without any damage. Are those two cherry trees also demon immortal? It must be like this. At this point, Huang Rumeng's body trembled again. Around the young master, there were all demons. I'm afraid it's far more than that. After a long time, Huang Rumeng, little by little, calmed down. She sat cross-legged on the bed and began to practice. ZZ, on her body, the three-color thunder light kept shining. She opened her eyes, her face was full of astonishment. In my dantian, there is a three-color thunder light. Is this what the young master gave me? Huang Rumeng muttered. Her face was full of astonishment. This method was unimaginable. It was simply inconceivable. Huang Rumeng's heart beat violently, and it took a long time to calm down. She closed her eyes and continued to practice. The next day, it was just around the corner. Today, Huang Rumeng changed into a long pink gown, and he was full of vitality. Young master, do I look pretty? Huang Rumeng turned around in front of Sun Hao, as happy as a little girl. Gorgeous. Sun Hao looked at Huang Rumeng and exclaimed. Young master, don't be astounded. Let's wash first. This time, Huang Rumeng poured the washing water. Sun Hao looked at her, and his eyes were warmed. Rumeng, thank you. Young master, it is me who should say thank you. You give me food, give me clothes, and don't drive me away. Menger is very grateful to you. Huang Rumeng said. Sun Hao couldn't find anything to answer. Such a pleasant little girl was 1 in a million in this world. Be sure to treat her well. After washing, the two people came to the dining room. A bowl of white porridge, a dish of peanuts. After eating breakfast, Sun Hao brought Huang Rumeng to the backyard. Young master, is the orchard in the backyard? Huang Rumeng asked. Yes, I'll let you see my treasure house today. Sun Hao's face showed a face of pride. Crack, the backyard door opened. A scent of fragrant wind blows across the face. After Huang Rumeng smelled it, her eyes gleamed, immortal qi. There are orchards, vegetable gardens, tea gardens, and medicine gardens. Don't be embarrassed, come on, I'll take you around the orchard first. Sun Hao said. N. Huang Rumeng nodded, and quickly followed. Look, this is the cherry tree. Sun Hao pointed to a fruit tree and spoke. This is the spiritual fruit I ate the day before yesterday. Huang Rumeng looked at the cherry tree with a confounded expression. She saw that the top of the cherry tree was blooming. There were flowers, small fruits, medium fruits, big fruits, red fruits, and mature black-red cherries from top to bottom. At the bottom, on the picked branches, there were also clusters of flowers. Every cherry had an attractive luster as if it was tempting you, hurry up and eat it. Young master, can this tree bloom all year round? Huang Rumeng asked. Not bad. Sun Hao replied. Did you plant this? Huang Rumeng said. N. Sun Hao nodded. It's amazing. Huang Rumeng said genuinely. Just a little trick, it means nothing. Sun Hao said. Upon hearing this, Huang Rumeng was shocked. Planting a spiritual fruit tree, letting it bloom and bear fruit every moment, and picking fresh fruits every day, was just a small trick. This trick was earth-shattering. Next, Sun Hao took Huang Rumeng to continue walking around the orchard. Looking at the trees, Huang Rumeng's heart was shaking, and her heart fluctuated intensely. The farther behind, Huang Rumeng was shocked even more. There were many fruit trees, and she couldn't see through them. If she looked at their fruits, she would know that they were exceptional. One thing that could be confirmed was that the young master actually planted immortal fruit. Huang Rumeng looked at Sun Hao's back, a look of worship was written on her face. The young master is so powerful, where am I worthy of him? Huang Rumeng murmured, with a sad expression all over her face. Rumeng, don't be stunned there is a tea garden in front of you, hurry up. Yes, young master. A moment later. The two came to the tea garden. Seeing the scene before her, Huang Rumeng was stunned again. Asterisk release schedule. 3 chapters/week. Monday, Wednesday and Friday. I will release more chapter if Patreon's chapters are already filled up and the stock of the chapters allow it. This is the best I can do for the time being to maintain the release rate and improve the quality as the novels are slowly being edited. Chapter 25. The Enlightened Tea Tree. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The tea garden was not big, with a size of more than 10 acres, taking up a small hill. Rumeng, look, this is the tea garden. Look at that piece, and it is the Dahongpo tea tree. Sun Hao said. When these words came out, Huang Rumeng looked flabbergasted. She took 3 steps and 2 steps before running to the Dahongpo tea tree. Stretch out her hands and touch them gently. It looked like she was touching a child. Enlightenment tea trees, all enlightenment tea trees. My mother. This, at least there are thousands of them. Huang Rumeng's voice trembled, and her whole person was totally dumb. In the outside world, a piece of enlightened tea could cause a river of blood. Here, a piece of enlightened tea tree could be seen everywhere. There was no way to compare. My God, tell me, this is a dream. Huang Rumeng pinched herself gently, oh, it hurts. This is not a dream. The young master actually has so many enlightened tea trees. Huang Rumeng muttered. It took a long time for her to calm down. There was a famous saying in the whole cultivation world. If you have a piece of enlightened tea, no matter how cold she is, she will take the initiative to become a Dao couple with you. For the young master, with this piece of enlightenment tea, finding hundreds of thousands of lovers was not a problem. At this point, Huang Rumeng huffed. However, she soon recovered. How can a character like the young master be fascinated by beauty? I even drank dozens of enlightened teas. Enough to be proud of the world. Young master saved my life and treated me like a relative. As long as he doesn't drive me away, even if I become a servant, I am willing. Huang Rumeng muttered to herself. Her mood improved a lot. Rumeng, you see Biluakun here, and Longjing over there. Sun Hao introduced Huang the teas to Rumeng one by one. Spirit tea, the best spiritual tea. Such a large piece, at least thousands of plants. What? Immortal tea. This is immortal tea. I'm afraid that every leaf contains the immortal power, which is worth a middle-grade immortal crystal. Every time she saw a variety, Huang Rumeng would be astonished for a long time. Seeing Huang Rumeng's astonishment, Sun Hao raised his mouth faintly. It seems that Rumeng is also admiring my planting technique. The planting technique of the Supreme Realm is not ordinary. Sun Hao secretly thought about it, waiting for Huang Rumeng to come back to her senses. He took her to the medicine garden. Immortal medicine, this is an immortal medicine. What is this? It's even scarier than immortal medicine. It seems to be a top-grade immortal medicine. My God! There are so many. There are thousands of plants. Only one strain is released to the outside world. Those old monsters who are self-proclaimed in the source of God will jump just to claim it for themselves. Terrifying, so terrifying, Huang Rumeng screamed again and again. She was so surprised that he didn't stop at all. The farther behind, Xuanhuan became shocked even more. Slowly but surely, she became calm and calmer. Xuanhuan only regained awareness after walking back from the backyard. Rumeng, how about it? I am a treasure house. Sun Hao said. Of course. Xuanhuan nodded. Young master, with these, I don't have to worry about eating and drinking at all. Of course. Sun Hao nodded with a haughty expression. In a few days, I will take you to see my pet. Pets. Xuanhuan was taken aback. Young master, why don't you take your pet with you? Sun Hao showed an embarrassed smile. Rumeng, that's because I originally raised it to be eaten. Later, when I saw that it was very energetic, I couldn't bear to eat it. Upon hearing this, Xuanhuan nodded, showing expectation. Time flies, and another day in a blink of an eye. On this day, Sun Hao and Xuanhuan finished their breakfast. As usual, they prepared to make a small cup of tea. Xuanhuan opened the tea bag and saw that the tea had become decayed, so she took it to the well to wash it. Rumeng, where are you going? Sun Hao asked. Young master, the dehongpo is decaying. I'll take it to wash it. Xuanhuan said. Decayed. This rainy weather is really annoying. Sun Hao secretly shook his head. Rumeng, if something is broken, you have to throw it away. No matter how good it is cleaned, there is mold in it, which affects the taste. Sun Hao took the tea from Xuanhuan's hand and walked to the pond. Bedo Darem, young master, this is, Xuanhuan looked shocked. This was enlightenment tea. Something that the cultivator had to get even after breaking his head. Not to mention decaying, even if it rotten, they wanted to get their hands on it somehow. The young master actually said to dispose and throw it away. After the amazement, Xuanhuan became numb. When I was with young master, I realized that I was a frog at the bottom of the well. Enlightenment tea was extremely precious in my own eyes. In his view, however, it is not worth mentioning. Despite being numb, it was a pity to discard such exquisite things. I will wait until the young master throws it away, then pick it up secretly. Think about it like this. Xuanhuan followed Sun Hao. Young master, where are you going to throw the tea? Naturally, throw it into the pond. This thing is not for us to drink, but for the lotus flower, it is good nourishment. Sun Hao said. Xuanhuan's head thundered and suddenly realized. No wonder the lotus monster was so powerful. All the nutrients it used to eat were enlightenment tea. Envy. Initially, she wanted to pick it up secretly. Now, she did not dare have the slightest idea. Fight with an immortal monster for the tea. She was not tired of living yet. She raised her head to look at the base god lotus. She saw it swaying in the wind, and the petals collided like it was flapping a cheerful song. Bang! After the enlightenment tea was thrown into the pond, the base god lotus stretched out countless roots and wrapped all the tea leaves together, like a whale swallowing, and devoured them frantically. Xuanhuan could clearly see that the base god lotus petals were growing rapidly, and the petals that grew later were different in color from before. 900 colors, soon she will break through 1000. I am afraid that at that time, her strength will be even higher. Xuanhuan muttered, green with envy. Rumeng, don't freeze, come and learn the Guqin. At this moment, Sun Hao's voice awakened Xuanhuan. Yes, young master. Walking to the pavilion, Xuanhuan sat beside the Guqin and began to play. Her movements were becoming more and more skillful, and her whole mind was relaxed. Her strength, as her mood improved, was also rapidly improving. Soon, it reached the late stage of the crossing calamity. At this time, the tribulation began. Over the sky of the great monster mountain, a huge black cloud was flying fast. In the dark clouds, there were tens of thousands of great monsters. The one that led them was Liang Golden Crow. Confirm that there is a tribulation thunder in front. Liang Golden Crow asked. Yes, Monster Lord. I clearly remember that the tricolor thunder tribulation is terrifying, and it frightened me away, said a little monster. Tricolor thunder tribulation. It should be a strong cultivator of crossing calamity realm. Liang Golden Crow's face was vigilant. Monster Lord, could it be the Grand Princess? Princess your head, she had just broken into the crossing calamity realm and was seriously injured. I'm afraid she will become a waste. However, if I didn't catch her one day, my heart would be uneasy every day. I have to see this tribulation thunder. Liang Golden Crow said. Yes, the Monster Lord. After the words finished, everything fell silent. At this time, abnormal changes extended beyond. https://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/bilyuakun https://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/longjing_t. Chapter 26. Swallowed the Tribulation Thunder. You are listening at novelfull.audio. ZZ, dark clouds were gusting up, blocking the sunlight. The entire sky dimmed in an instant. In the dark clouds, the 6-color thunder light kept soaring up. The terrifying crackling thunder sound made everyone terrified. When Liang Golden Crow saw this scene, his scalp exploded. It's not good, the 6-color tribulation thunder. Demon Lord, what should we do? We are within the coverage. Demon Lord, it will not be the strong one who is crossing calamity again. Right. All the great demons' faces changed noticeably. Run, run, fly into the forest and hide. Liang Golden Crow hollered. Following after, a crowd of demons flew down one after another, hiding in the dense forest, not daring to escape the surroundings. Even the Liang Golden Crow was hiding behind the tree, quivering in fear. There was no way to withstand this kind of thunder. Look at this, and it's going to thunder again. Sun Hao looked at the sky and frowned slightly. He glanced at Huang Rumeng, but he saw her sitting on the chair, closing her eyes and slightly grimacing her eyebrows. Rumeng is also fearful of thunder. This thunder god, it's hard for me. Sun Hao murmured, stood up and looked at the sky with thunder and lightning. His heart was frightened. He built up his courage and pointed to the sky. Thunder god, do you dare to come? Sun Hao shouted. As soon as his words came out, the 6-color thunder lights vanished one by one. The dark clouds also seemed to be frightened, quickly dissipating. In less than an incense burned, the sky was clear and warm. Fuck, really vanished. Sun Hao was surprised, and his eyes swept away. But he didn't find anything unusual. He might be lucky to chase off the dark clouds for the first time. He might be not lucky again if he tried swallowing back the dark clouds. Is it a high-ranking person who gets rid of the dark clouds while I am speaking? Or is this dark cloud made by him? Or, someone who has come to see me and secretly tested my courage? Is it possible that I am the one who absorbed the thunder tribulation by myself? The more he thought about it, the more puzzled Sun Hao became. It could be anything. These days, cultivators come to his residence from time to time. Probably, it was their elders who secretly made it happen. The elders salvaged them, but they didn't show up, which made people suspect that they were the elders' disciple. Who on earth is it? Have the ability to control the weather? Is he invincible that dominate and control everything? Or was it just luck again? No matter what, try again next time. It will be clear. Thinking about this, Sun Hao nodded secretly and looked at Huang Rumeng. He saw her standing up slowly. There was a light shining in her eyes. Just now, the 6-color tribulation thunder was absorbed by the young master. The terrifying tribulation thunder was smart as a licking dog. Moreover, before retreating, the 6-colored thunder lights were engraved into her body. With the addition of the previous 3 colors, now, in her dantian, there was already a 9-color thunder light. It was a terrifying result. Unexpectedly, the tribulation thunder sent such good luck to her in order to please the young master. Young master, who the hell you really are? So kind, so good to me. Huan Rumeng's eyes sparkled with gratitude, and she looked at Sun Hao blankly. She squeezed Sun Hao into her chest, the fragrance was tangy, and a strange feeling filled Sun Hao's body. In some places, a dragon was going out to sea. It was violent and arrogant, don't how, but it is a common thing happen to male. Sensing Sun Hao's strangeness, Huan Rumeng's face was blushing. She lowered her head, afraid to look at Sun Hao's eyes. Young master had a crush on her. Young master, if you want Rumeng's body, do it. She thought so in her heart but didn't dare to say it. The two of them just hugged, motionless. Suddenly. Huang Rumeng, the great demon mountain is coming. You should handle this, don't let the young master find out. At this moment, a voice was heard in Huang Rumeng's mind. Yes, senior. Huang Rumeng nodded. Ouch, Huang Rumeng yelled, showing some kind of pain. Rumeng, what's the matter? Young master, my stomach hurts. I have to leave first. Huang Rumeng said. Go quickly. Yes, young master. Huang Rumeng ran to the backyard, her figure flickering and vanished instantly. In the great demon mountain, a crowd of demons slowly stood up. They looked at the clear sky with doubts all over their faces. What's the matter? The 6-color thunder tribulation didn't fall. Could it be that everything was fake just now? Liang Golden Crow stood up from the ground, shaking slightly. Although the 6-color tribulation thunder had not fallen, its power was extremely terrifying. Will he be able to resist the tribulation thunder in the future? At this point, Liang Golden Crow repetitively shook his head. Be quiet. Liang Golden Crow roared, and all the great demons were quiet. Assemble, with this seat, search for the whereabouts of the princess, he commanded. However, no one responded to him. Every demon looked behind him and panicked. What happened? Liang Jinwu frowned, looked back, and his pupils shrank. He saw a woman standing in the sky. She was dressed in white, with pointy ears and blonde hair tied behind her head. She looked too picturesque beyond description. She was the Grand Princess Huang Rumeng. Liang Golden Crow laughed after seeing it clearly. It takes no effort to break through the iron shoes. Princess, if I were you, I would find a place to hide, practice well, and wait for my strength to recover. Oh, no, you'll never recover. With that kind of poison, even the god cannot save you. The moment Liang Golden Crow spoke, a group of great demons flew into the air. In an instant, Huang Rumeng was surrounded. Not even the water couldn't get through. Seeing this scene, Huang Rumeng turned a blind eye. She calmly looked at Liang Golden Crow and said lightly, let's talk. How much benefit did you receive? Liang Golden Crow was taken aback, then the corner of his mouth raised, Princess, what benefit? I don't understand what you are talking about. Are you surrendering? Or want us to do it? Liang Golden Crow was full of confidence. Haha, Huang Rumeng smiled slightly. She flicked her finger at that moment. 9-color thunder light wrapped around her fingertips and rushed out quickly. Heaven and earth roared. A giant hand covering the sky, formed by the thunder lights, came down from the sky, shaking and billowing the air. The pressure of terror, like Mount Tai, crushed the crowd of demons. They were gasping for air in an instant. Seeing this scene, Liang Golden Crow's scalp exploded. How can this, maybe? Her strength has recovered. Liang Golden Crow's voice trembled, and his words were unclear. Bdnvl.m without saying anything, he quickly transformed his body. Burst, there was a loud cry. A red golden crow with a length of 100 meters rose into the sky. The terrifying flames burned the heavens and the earth, and everyone who touched them was burned to fly ash. No, Demon Lord, forgive me. Ah, besides Liang Golden Crow, all great demons were burned to ashes. Humph, this seat has also reached the stage of crossing calamity. I'll meet the princess head on. Liang Golden Crow growled and went straight to attack the giant hand. However, there was a shock. Covering the sky with the giant hand, Huang Ruming immediately held Liang Golden Crow in her hand, as if grabbing a chicken and letting him struggle without any result. The 9-colored thunder light constantly swayed on him, bursting with a powerful and roaring current. Every time it flew, the power of the Liang Golden Crow's feathers becomes blackened. Liang Golden Crow repeatedly roared, using all his power to attack the giant hand that covered the sky. It was useless. He used every method in his sleeves, but it failed to cause damage to the giant hand. This power actually contains the power of tribulation thunder. How is this possible? My God! What good fortune did the princess encounter? Liang Golden Crow's eyes were full of panic. Chapter 27. The Demon Lord's Death. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What? The thunder light in the hands of the princess is the light of tribulation thunder. How could this be possible? What kind of good fortune did the princess get? It was terrifying. It's over, finished, we are finished. Princess, we ask for your kindness, don't kill us. We are forced to do that. A crowd of old demons bowed to the ground and kept kowtowing. Princess, I was wrong. Please spare my life. The thunder burned Liang Golden Crow, and black smoke was all over his body. He prostrated in the giant hands, asking for mercy. Haha, Huang Ruming smiled slightly, with cold killing intent all over her face. Liang Golden Crow's face changed radically when he watched this scene. The kind and timid princess had changed entirely. Not only had her strength become stronger, but also her character had also become tougher. What happened to her? Why did it become like this? Young master is right, you should throw away things that have already broken. I will also let you feel the pain. After speaking, Huang Ruming pointed her right hand out. Another giant hand covering the sky took shape. This giant hand held a wing of Liang Golden Crow and gently pinched it. Kacha, a sound of broken bones was heard. Ah! Liang Golden Crow let out a painful scream. His body was scorched black, and endless pain flooded his body. Mercy, please have mercy. Liang Golden Crow's face was distorted, and he kept begging for mercy. Liang Golden Crow, be patient, you will be finished soon. Huang Ruming said. When Liang Golden Crow heard this, his eyes paled, and he almost fell unconscious. In the beginning, he said this. Unexpectedly, it was only a few days before it was his turn. If he had known this, why would he do it at the beginning? Kacha, there was another sound of broken bones. The other wing of Liang Golden Crow was broken. Ah! He screamed harshly, it was echoing faintly. These voices were horrifying in the ears of the old demons. They kowtowed to the ground, shivering, not daring to move in the slightest. Kacha, there was another sound. A claw of Liang Golden Crow turned into a powder. Kacha, the other claw exploded into dust. Pain. Endless pain. All Liang Golden Crow could feel was a pain. After passing out several times, he was tortured into soberness by Huang Ruming. Princess, you can't kill me. Liang Golden Crow tried his best to squeeze out such a sentence. Hee. Huang Ruming smiled coldly, completely ignoring it. Princess, my son is an immortal's mount. Liang Golden Crow said in one breath. For fear of speaking too late, he blew everything on the spot. Upon hearing this, Huang Rumeng's expression stagnated and stopped. Immortal, that was a powerful existence. On Xiang planet, there were only a handful of immortals. Every immortal could mobilize a great power, and his strength was unimaginable. Unexpectedly, this Liang Golden Crow's son turned out to be an immortal mount. This was indeed a bit troublesome. Humph, even your son can become an immortal's mount. Do you think I can believe it? Huang Rumeng said. Princess, it's true. 500 years ago, I met the love of my life in ancestral Demon Mountain. Yuexin, she is the Sky Devourer Golden Crow, and lives happily with her. Later, I gave birth to my son, Lai Shang. The good times are not long. When Yuexin's family sees us together, they want to break us apart and kill Lai Shang and me. Yuexin tried to stop them as I took Lai Shang to escape from the ancestral Demon Mountain to the sea. However, we were still caught up. We were going to corpses on the spot in an instant. At this time, an immortal passed by. When he saw Lai Shang's gifted talent, he stopped and rescued us. He then left with Lai Shang. Liang Golden Crow finished quickly. Huang Rumeng frowned, thinking secretly. Princess, you have tortured me like this, and the anger in your heart should have been diminished. My son, Lai Shang, is a mount of an immortal. Let's not say how strong the immortal is. Perhaps my son too will soon become an immortal. If he knows that you killed me, it must be a bad thing. I don't need to say more. You don't just think about yourself. You should also think about the future of ancestral Demon Mountain. Is it worth it to offend the immortal? Liang Golden Crow were persuasive and told her the pros and cons. Threatening me. Huang Rumeng laughed emotionlessly. Young master is right, happy for lifetime, free for a lifetime, isn't it happy? Why should I be afraid of this? I, Huang Rumeng, killed you. So what? After finishing, Huang Rumeng gently pressed with her both hands. No, an unwilling cry came to an abrupt end. Bang, Liang Golden Crow's body burst into powder at once. A strong demon lord didn't even have a chance to struggle. Princess, be merciful, be merciful. Princess, we have nothing to do with us. We are innocent. All the demons bowed to the ground, shivering. Huang Rumeng looked at them. Her face didn't change. Die. Huang Rumeng silently sentenced them to death. No, some demons flew up and ran away quickly. However, in front of two giant hands covering the sky, how can they escape? Bang, they burst into blood fog one by one, without even a chance to struggle. A moment later. Huang Rumeng stood in place. She closed her eyes and felt quiet. Is this what the young master calls a happy life? If people don't offend me, I don't offend people. Young master, I understand. In the future, if anyone dares to offend me, I will destroy them completely. Thinking like this, Huang Rumeng faintly opened her eyes. She looked at the demon core everywhere, and with a wave of her right hand, she received it all. The demon core of Liang Golden Crow emitted a red flame that was especially very hot. Young master treats me like a relative. I don't know if young master likes these things. As Huang Rumeng thought like this, her figure flickered and disappeared. When she reappeared, she had already returned to the backyard. Rumeng, why is it so long? Sun Hao asked. Huang Rumeng's face turned red. Young master, just now, I found some beautiful stones in the backyard, so I picked them up. After speaking, Huang Rumeng handed the demon core to Sun Hao. Sun Hao's eyes shone when he saw this colorful demon core. Gem. Why haven't I found it before? It's so beautiful. Rumeng, thank you. Sun Hao held the demon core in his hand and kept looking at it. Young master, as long as you like it, you don't have to be polite to me. Huang Rumeng looked at Sun Hao, her eyes full of worship. The flames of Liang Golden Crow's demon core, in the hands of the young master, did not even react at all. There were no injuries. It must be known that the young master now sealed all his magic power and relied on physical contact. What realm did the young master's physical body reach? These gems are so beautiful. They are glowing. They look much better than diamonds. If they are used to decorate a room, it will be wonderful. Xuanhuan secretly nodded. Chapter 28. Entering Ling Su's cemetery. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. A few days later. On the second level of Ling Su's secret realm, Luo Luyan and Su Yiling stood on a stone platform. The platforms were small, only tens of square meters. They were square-shaped, and what was beside was a bottomless abyss. At first glance, it made people feel dizzy, as if they were about to fall. This kind of platform spread to the entire space. Its edge was nowhere to be seen. On each platform, there were different numbers of cultivators, ranging from 2 to a dozen. What broken place is this? I can't fly. Damn, I feel dangerous underneath. If I fall down, I will die without a doubt. How can I pass through this level? There were rebuking voices everywhere. Luo Luyan and Su Yiling stood still, frowning and thinking. At this time, swoosh, a specter doppelganger slowly condensed above everyone's heads. It looked down at every cultivator with its blank eyes, comparable to a ray of soul. Being able to enter the second level proves that you are one in mind. Now is the time to witness the truth of your friendship. On each platform, only half of you will be alive, and the other half must jump into the abyss. Otherwise, the people on the entire platform will die. After an hour, if there are more than half of the people left on the platform, everyone will die. Now, the countdown starts. The voice was mechanical, emotionless, and unforgiving. Everyone stood there blankly, unable to believe this was true for a while. On the platform, half of the cultivators must jump into the abyss. Only then could the others survive. This kind of test was simply ruthless. However, for cultivators, it was nothing at all. It was the cultivators' rule to die as a friend and never die as a poor man. All the cultivators understood. Ding, the sound of fighting started everywhere. On each platform, there was constant fighting. Suddenly, it was difficult to tell who was the winner. On one of the platforms, a man was pointing to a group of his men. You guys. Jump down by yourself. These men looked flabbergasted, and their faces were full of fear. Then, they pointed their swords at the man, asking us to die. No way, don't ever think about it. It's you who are going to die. Get him down first, and then we will fight. It makes sense. You don't, a scream from the platform spread to the bottom of the abyss. Then the voice gradually disappeared. Next, the remaining men on this platform started another duel again. Such scenes were transpired on every platform. Luo Luyan and Su Yiling stared at the four sides blankly, their expressions fluctuating. Suddenly, Su Yiling moved. She ran in one direction, and at the same time, shouted, "Master, goodbye, you must help the young master to get the treasure." Soon, she ran on the edge of the platform, ready to jump down. However, she failed to jump down. Luo Luyan grasped her arm tightly and lifted her up. "Disciple, you have saved your master once. The master is old. This time, let the master save you. Pass the test and get the treasure. Everything will depend on you. Jade Lake Palace's future is in your hands." After speaking, Luo Luyan jumped down, and the abyss rapidly swallowed her body. "Master, you are not old. You are only 80 years old. No, don't. You treat me like a daughter. How can you die? Don't. Jade Lake Palace can't do without you." Su Yiling only felt the sky whirling. She felt listless and empty. Master, the disciple will come to rescue you now. Without any hesitation, Su Yiling also jumped down and fell quickly. There was a terrifying force, and then she was sucked into it at once and passed out. Didn't know how long it took. Su Yiling woke up faintly and opened her eyes, and saw Luo Luyen looking at her with a smile. Master. Are we in hell? Su Yiling asked. Luo Luyen smiled slightly, naturally not, we are still alive. What? Alive? Su Yiling was full of disbelief. Yes, we are not only alive but also passed the test. Moreover, we are the only two who passed the test. Luo Luyen explained. Master, it seems that if you want to pass the test, everyone has to jump off. Yes. Taoist Ling Su's thinking was beyond everyone. Who could think of a test like this? It's amazing. Let's go, let's find the treasure. Okay. The two of them were now on an underground corridor seemingly without end. Along the way, there were no obstacles. The end point was a tomb of nearly 1,000 square meters. In the middle of the tomb, there was a pair of crystal coffins. Inside the coffin laid a man. He didn't seem to have any color, as if he had died for many years. What, Taoist Ling Su is dead? Luo Luyen and Su Yiling exclaimed at the same time. They naturally had seen the portrait of Taoist Ling Su. It was 80,000 years ago, and he was the top powerhouse of the human race, which created a legend. During that period, no one dared to challenge Taoist Ling Su. It was said that he later fought in the void of the universe and never came back. Unexpectedly, he actually appeared here and lying dead in a coffin. The top powerhouse of the human race just died like this. For a while, it was hard to accept. Luo Luyen kept shaking her head, unwilling to believe the scene before her. This is impossible, this is impossible. Master, look here. Su Yiling said, pointing to the tombstone. Luo Luyen ran to the tombstone, and after a glance, her face was ashen. He saw the words above, and it said. The tomb of beloved husband Ling Su. The signature was. Beloved wife, Ruo Shi. Master, you see, this is the tombstone set up by Taoist Ling Su's wife. It seems that Taoist Ling Su is really dead. Su Yiling said. How can such a powerful man die so easily? Luo Luyen muttered, standing up. She lowered her head to think, constantly pacing in the tomb. Master, accept the reality, Taoist Ling Su is really dead. Disciples, Taoist Ling Su, that's an immortal. How easy is it for him to die, and why does his body appear here? His wife, who is Ruoshi. Also, there are hundreds of secret realms left by Taoist Ling Su. It is said that this is just a secret realm left by Taoist Ling Su before he became an immortal. Luo Luyen explained. Hearing these words, Su Yiling stood there, for a moment, not knowing how to answer. If Taoist Ling Su didn't die, where would he be? Or the man in the crystal coffin is not Taoist Ling Su at all. Taoist Ling Su is practicing sentient beings. The more she thought about it, the brighter Luo Luyen's face became. She seemed to have caught something. I understand. Suddenly, Luo Luyen shouted, shocking Su Yiling. Chapter 29. The True Taoist Ling Su. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Master, what do you understand? Su Yiling asked. In this coffin, that is not the real Taoist Ling Su at all. Luo Luyen explained. What? Then who is he? He should be Taoist Ling Su's lover. Luo Luyen said. Taoist Ling Su's lover is also called Ling Su. Master, this is impossible. Su Yiling said. Let me tell you this. In fact, the real Taoist Ling Su named Ruoshi. To commemorate her lover Ling Su, she turned into his appearance and claimed to be Taoist Ling Su who traveled all over the world. Maybe Taoist Ling Su lover wanted to be the supreme powerhouse before his death, where Luo Luyen was calculating. When the words had been just said, there was a loud sound. A figure slowly appeared in front of the two women. She was a woman with a haggard face and a blank eye. She stood in front of the crystal coffin and gently stroked the crystal coffin as if looking at her beloved. For a long time, she just stood up in place. You are right. The woman looked at Luo Luyen and nodded, I am the Taoist Ling Su. What, you are Taoist Ling Su? Luo Luyen and Su Yiling were startled and pointed at Taoist Ling Su. At the same time, she clasped her fists and saluted, I have seen Taoist Ling Su. No need. Taoist Ling Su sighed secretly, since you can figure out my true identity, you have passed my test. This is the Tao of compassion that I have realized throughout my life. You two have a good understanding. Taoist Ling Su waved her right hand after finishing speaking, and Dao Rhyme in her hand flew quickly, covering the two women. The two women closed their eyes and began to realize the epiphany. Half an hour later. Shoo, the two women opened their eyes, and their faces were full of joy. Thank you, Senior. The two women clasped their fists. Taoist Ling Su's body trembled slightly. Her face was full of disbelief. Are you all finished? Taoist Ling Su asked. Yes, Senior. The two leaned forward with respect. Taoist Ling Su stood in place, a flash of light shining from her eyes. Fine, nothing. Your talents are really rare. Since I inherited, then I will tell you about a big event. The evil race is ready to move, and I think they will attack the human race in the near future. Taoist Ling Su said. As soon as this came out, the faces of the two women changed drastically. They looked at Taoist Ling Su and clasped their fists together. Senior, if the evil race invades, you need to lead the human race against them. Yes, Senior, the human race is now in loose sand, fighting each other. Please unite the human race. Hearing these words, Taoist Ling Su secretly shook her head. My heart is tired, and I don't want to fight again. If it weren't for accompanying Ling Su, I would have fallen. Everything in the future depends on you. Having said that, Ling Su waved her right hand. A stone tower floated in Ling Su's hands. This is a stone tower I got from the Sea of Azura, and even I can't see what it is. Maybe it will be of some help to you, take it and leave. I will close the secret realm and never open it. Taoist Ling Su has a sad voice and a firm attitude. When Luo Luyen heard these words, she looked at the stone tower with a lonely face. A human race's top powerhouse, but now she was self-proclaimed would stay in the secret realm and never appear. What was the difference between this and death? Without her, who would stand up and fight the evil race? Luo Luyen frowned, thinking secretly. The young master, let us come here. Is it only to get back a stone tower? The young master's hint could never be that simple. Taoist Ling Su is Ruoshi. Before we left, the young master gave us a pair of spirit painting. Ling Su, Ruoshi. I see. The young master, let us give the Ling Su painting to Taoist Ling Su, and let her lead the human race against the evil race. That must be the case. Luo Luyen thought more and more. She was excited, and she took out the Ling Shi diagram from her space ring without any rush. At the same time, she said. Though I have for my body no wings like those of the bright colored phoenix, yet I feel the harmonious heart-beat of the sacred unicorn. http://wengu.tartari.com/wg/wengu.php m equals nazel equals tangsher no equals 210. After she finished speaking, boom. There was a thunder sound above Taoist Ling Su's head. Like lightning, she stood behind Luo Luyen in an instant. The Tao of compassion, this is the real Tao of compassion. Taoist Ling Su stared blankly, her eyes gleaming. At this moment, she realized. It turns out that this is the way to love. Affection is not all about giving. But you have me in you, and you in me. Ling Su, I understand. From today onwards, I am Daoist Roashi. Instead of becoming your shadow. Daoist Ling Su, no, it should be said that Daoist Roashi. 2 lines of tears shed in her eyes. At the same time, it bloomed with a strange glow. Her state of mind was growing rapidly. It took a long time for her to calm down. Daoist Roashi looked at Luo Luyen and asked, "What is this?" "Senior, this is a gift from an expert to senior." Luo Luyen said. "What?" Su Yiling stared at this scene blankly, looking confused. Wasn't this a gift from the young master? Why was it a gift to Senior Ling Su? I don't understand. What exactly did the master realize? How can I be so stupid? The test given by the young master is too difficult. Fortunately, there is my respected master. Otherwise, this test I will not pass at all. Is this an expert drawing? Daoist Ruashi asked. Not bad. Luo Luyen nodded. The expert learned that the senior is here. He specially asked me to wait to deliver it to you. Presumably, you will understand after you read it. Daoist Roashi took a deep breath. In this world, there are such high-level people unexpectedly. It was simply terrifying. The human race had such an expert, and by this, the small evil race wouldn't be able to get through the storm. I understand, rest assured, I will stand up and lead the human race against the evil race. However, before that, I will be in seclusion for a period of time. I feel that I am going to break through. As for this painting, I will give it to you too. Please cherish it. After going back, thank the master for me. Daoist Roashi said. Thank you, senior. This stone tower can't be inserted into the space ring. You use the tower in your hands, take it well, and I will send you away. Daoist Roashi explained. Thank you, senior. Luo Luyen clasped her fists and bowed, placing the stone tower in her palm. Daoist Roashi waved her right hand, 2 air currents immediately wrapped the 2 of them and sent them out of the Ling Su secret realm. Whoosh, the scenery changed, and the 2 came to the outside world. Master, I still don't understand. Didn't the young master ask us to find treasures? How did it become sending paintings to Ling Su? No, if you cherish the Taoist. Su Yiling asked in confusion. So, master wants you to keep your eyes open and think more about everything. Think carefully about the 3 words Ling Shi diagram. Luo Luyen said. Ling Shi diagram, Ling Shi. Oh, I understand. This is alluding to Ling Su and Roa Shi. Su Yiling showed an epiphany. Not bad. Luo Luyen showed a teachable expression. Young master is very awesome, and he knows that this Ling Su secret realm is open, and he also knows that Ling Su, oh no, if the Taoist Roashi is in it. Moreover, he calculated that the Taoist Roashi has a hurdle and is unwilling to lead the human race. Let us give this painting to her so that she can understand, right? The more her master said, the more shocked Su Yiling's face became. Join our Patreon for more chapters and get exclusive mug for certain tiers. Chapter 30. The Great Palm of Love. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Disciple, you're getting better. Luo Luyen nodded secretly with a compliment on her face. Master, compared with you, I am far behind. You easily realized the second intention of the young master. Su Yiling said. I also thought about it a bit more. Otherwise, I almost didn't complete the young master's test. Then it would be big trouble. The human race will be at stake too. Luo Luyen said. Su Yiling nodded and breathed a sigh of relief. In that case, the young master has already known the evil race would attack the human race. That's right. Luo Luyen said. PSST, Su Yiling gasped coldly, with a look of admiration in her eyes, how strong is the young master's strength. I'm afraid it is far above the Taoist Ruoshi. Luo Luyen said. At this point, the two women gasped, and their faces were full of awe. Well, let's send this stone tower to the young master. Good. The two women were preparing to move. At this time, here a shout was heard in the distance. Immediately afterward, cultivators, one after another, flew quickly. In the blink of an eye, they surrounded Luo Luyen and Su Yiling. You get the inheritance, and then you simply want to run. How can there be such a good thing? If you don't want to die, hand over all the space rings on your body. Hey, what is that in her hand? A stone tower, I want this thing. The faces of these cultivators were full of greed. Master, what should I do? Su Yiling asked. The young master's things cannot be taken away by such villains, and even if it means death, you have to protect it. After speaking, Luo Luyen took a deep breath and looked around. Her eyes swept in all directions. Don't be afraid of death, just come. The voice resounded through the sky, deafening the people's ears. Many cultivators showed fear on their faces. Oh, she is the master of Jade Lake Palace. Luo Luyen. What? Is it her? How can she be so strong? Look at her breath. At least it's a void transformation realm. What should we do? Many cultivators showed fear and retreat. What a big tone. The sound came from a distance like thunder. Then, a fat middle-aged man arrived quickly. He landed in front of Luo Luyen and Su Yiling. The appearance of this fat man immediately caused an exclamation around. What? It's him. Who is he? He is the old monster, Tianming. He is the ancestor of Tianming. 100 years ago, he was a strong cultivator in Mahayana realm. Now I don't know what realm he has reached. What? Tianming sect. That's the 6th class sect, ranking in the top 10 in the western regions. Now, Luo Luyen could only honestly offer the treasures. Hearing these voices, the corners of the old monster Tianming's mouth raised slightly, full of pride. Su Yiling's face changed drastically, and she whispered, Master, you run away first. I will stay behind. Luo Luyen smiled. Don't be afraid if you have your master. After that, she walked to the old monster Tianming and clasped her fists slightly. Senior Tianming, this stone tower is an expert who asked me to come and get it, please give me some face. Master. Old monster Tianming slightly frowned and turned his mind sharply. Since it is an expert, this seat should escort you. The master is refining his Dao heart, so it is inconvenient to disturb. Please forgive me, do not make trouble for us. Otherwise, it is not easy for you to cultivate, and it's not good to lose it. Luo Luyen firmly said. As soon as these words came out, all the onlookers stood still. What? Having said so much, it turns out that there is something in her words. She is threatening old monster Tianming. She doesn't want to live anymore. Haha, the old monster Tianming looked up to the sky and laughed. After laughing, he swept away coldly and stared directly at Luo Luyen. Little doll, in a few words, I want to drink and retire and dream. It's up to me. After speaking, the old monster Tianming suddenly became violent. As if he was running into thunder, he appeared in front of Luo Luyen in the blink of an eye. Pointing at her shoulder, a palm strike blasted out. Boom! The airwave shook out. Luo Luyen kicked her body straight back. Push! After steadying his figure, she spitted out a mouthful of blood. Obviously, the injury was not light. I thought you were some kind of master. It turned out to be just a little doll in the void realm. Give up all the space rings on your body and the stone tower, and I will spare your life. The old monster Tianming stood in the sky, his breath swelling out. Master. Su Yiling ran forward and held Luo Luyen. I'm fine. Luo Luyen waved her hand and stood firm. On her body, the bitter breath stirred up. I have put good words to persuade, but you just don't know how to advance or retreat. In that case, go to hell. After speaking, Luo Luyen waved her right hand and gently put it down. Her whole movements, like drinking tea, were natural. Heaven and earth were shocked. Countless spiritual energy rushed out. A huge transparent palm was condensed and formed in the sky. This palm covered the world. Infinite power, layer upon layer. The faces of the cultivators below changed dramatically. This is. Old monster Tianming's scalp exploded. He made haste steps and ran wildly. Since you insist on taking the young master's possession, go to hell. An icy voice came from the sky. Covering the sky with the gigantic hands, falling quickly. How is this possible? Old monster Tianming tried his best, throwing several spirit weapons together, blocking everything above his head. Bang, there was a burst of explosions. The spirit weapon was made like shredded paper, bursting into pieces. No, old monster Tianming let out an unwilling roar. And then. The shrieks came to an abrupt end. Old monster Tianming's body shattered and exploded into a blood mist. Shout, the huge hand covering the sky slowly dissipated all the cultivators, just standing where they were. The look of dismay was beyond description. A moment later. Hiss, the surprised voice came one after another. Dead. The old monster Tianming died like this. Jade Lake Palace Master killed the old monster Tianming. Am I dreaming? Dream, it must be a dream. Even Su Yiling was still standing at the same place right now, her small mouth opened into an O shape, and there was no response for a long time. When did Master become so powerful? Why don't I know about it? Su Yiling stepped forward. Master, what is your skill called? Where did you learn it? It's called the Hand of Love. This is what I realized when I drank enlightenment tea that day and saw the movement of the young master. Luo Lu Smoke said. What? Su Yiling looked admired and worshipped. Master, you are really amazing. You can understand this kind of magical skill. Hey, my talent is limited. Only the young master has the power. Luo Luyen said. Young master is too strong. Su Yiling's face flashed with a strange glow. Okay, don't freeze. Let's go find the young master first. The two women stepped forward, and the group of cultivators evaded one after another. Their faces were full of fear. Shout, the two women turned into a flash of rainbow and left quickly. Not long after they disappeared. Shout, two transparent phantoms slowly condensed into shape. No one could notice the crowd of cultivators nearby. There is such a genius. If I devour her, isn't her cultivation mine? Don't go. There must be a strong person beside her. Then, so what? Even immortals can't find us. Should I still be afraid of her? I'll go. Join our Patreon and read It Turns Out I Am a Dao Ancestor, up to chapter 56 now.